Well, hello, Orchard Beach and viewers. Boy, I wish you could really get a grasp of what this really looks like this morning, but I'm down here again and it's just extremely peaceful and calm, and it's got the green and the blues, and there's a squirrel running around right there. But it's just a beautiful scene there with the greenish water and the blue sky, it being so calm. But thanks for joining again. Just real quick this morning. Boy, I had a moment this past week of what do I do now? What's next? You know, thinking of the church family and my own family, and I was reminded of a message by Andy Stanley once where he talked about when you're uncertain, you can be clear. So in the midst of what we don't know what's going to happen, what things are going to look like, how things are going to be, I'm thinking about coming back together again as a church family. He says, yeah, in the midst of that uncertainty, you can still be clear of what you're going to do. And I was reading yesterday, and I'm in 2nd John now, picking through 1st, 2nd, and 3rd John, and that's where John's writing to, I believe, a smaller church family, and his words to them are, I want to remind you what's important: love each other. And in that, he says a phrase, let's not lose what we work so hard for. And that kind of stood out to me of what's important, and what keeps us going in the direction that we need to be going is just staying focused on loving each other. And boy, I've been so encouraged to see how that's been going on, even though we haven't been able to gather very much. But the way that you all have been loving each other and dropping off gifts and sharing notes and the pen pals and even sharing meals. And I heard an avalanche of flowers were going out to a whole bunch of people this past week, and just the ways that you've been loving on each other, meeting in your small groups, encouraging each other. And I just want to say well done again. And that's what John was speaking to this church. I want to remind you what's important. In the midst of all the uncertainty, keep loving each other. Just love each other. And that's what he spoke to me yesterday. And it's encouraging because, especially when you get to that place of, I'm not sure what to do next. I'm not sure how to begin to prepare exactly for how we want things to look when we come back together, processing all that right now. And the one thing that he spoke to me yesterday, it brought a peace like this water out here today, is just love each other. Make sure in the midst of moving forward in all the ways that we need to move forward in with technology and so forth, because that's not going to go away, and we're in a major learning curve on that. Is not. I felt like he was saying, in the midst of all that, stay focused on just what it looks like to love each other. And then, another thing that stood out in that passage is he defined love. And he says, it's not, we all know it's not just it's a feeling, it's an action. But he says, love is doing what I tell you to do, what God tells us to do. And I hope we can all hear that today. Whatever he's speaking to you, love is doing it. And I've learned over the years too, the vast majority of the words spoken to me, to us, and it's through his word, is over and over encouragement to love him and to love others. And listen, if you are at a place where you know you're not doing what you should do, you're outside of his love. And think of it this way, isn't it cool to know that there's a God who, when he tells all of us, I want you to love each other, what that means is he wants you to be loved. He wants you to feel loved. He wants you to experience love from those around you. That's his heart. That's who God is. And so I just want to throw out there, church body, as we anticipate what's to come and with all the uncertainty, let's be clear on one thing. We're here to love each other. Keep up the good work. I love you all.